Hi ladies, I've gotten a lot of comments that my routine can be a little bit overwhelming, and I completely agree with you. Please keep in mind that this is my job, it is my profession, and it's what I do. So yes, it's overly complicated and probably not necessary. This is a condensed guide for all of you ladies that are busy. You might be moms, you might be working professionals that don't have, 4 hours or more per day to dedicate to longevity. So here we go. Step 1, you absolutely do have to prioritize sleep. So if you can get to bed early tonight, ideally before 10, because we know that we get the most benefits if we're in bed before 10. Why? It's beneficial for our hormone production, really gets into those deepest stages of sleeping where we can actually detox the best. We know that women detox slower, and we're also exposed to more environmental toxins. Really, really important to get high quality sleep. If you are a nursing mother or something of that nature, I would really focus on the sleep quality versus sleep quantity. I measure my quality with my Oura ring, so I want to be aiming for better deep and REM sleep, and you can do that through environment optimization. I'm not going to talk about that here because I have an entire video on my wind down routine that I'll link below, but sleep optimization is by far number 1. If you get high quality sleep, you'll have less cravings, meaning it'll be easier to maintain your nutrition and your physique. You'll also have better biomarkers in general, reduced blood pressure, reduced cortisol, and so much more. So get high quality sleep. That is not really going to change your time commitment at all. And if it does, it might just be a little bit more sleep. So moving on is getting morning exercise. This doesn't have to be an hour-long gym session 5+ times a week like I'm doing. You can simply do 30 minutes of movement every single day. If you are doing this, you want to do about half of the time in some sort of strength training, and you can also do the other half the time in some sort of HIIT or rigorous activities. This doesn't have to be anything wild either. You don't have to go to a gym. It doesn't have to be carved out time. You can play with your children, sprints, running in the backyard, whatever it may be. But getting in that intentional movement for at least 30 minutes a day is really powerful. You can also do a few days of just walking. Take your kids on a walk outside. Nature, super important to get exposures to things that relax you. As women, I think it's absolutely necessary for us to build in at least 4 times a day of intentional de-stressing. This isn't like that for men because men don't perceive stress at as high levels as we do. So we know that 80% of doctor's visits are related to stress. So as women, we have to reduce our stress. I also feel like a lot of the autoimmune conditions and other dysfunction that women are experiencing are related to our stress levels and our toxin levels. And in this, we're going to address both of those. We have some sort of movement every single day. It does not have to be as structured, but this will really help blood flow, longevity. It will keep you in shape to age well. So add on a little bit of muscle, improve bone density with some strength training. Really, really important for overall health, but doesn't have to be a massive time commitment. Let's talk about nutrition. I think meal prepping is key here. So only buying things that are health promoting, not purchasing any sort of Snickers or bad snacks, as we would call them in this house. But if you don't have it, you can't eat it. So that's a way to just optimize what you're eating without even really changing anything at all. Meal prepping is another really important and potentially time-saving and life optimizing area. So I steam all of my vegetables for the week on Sunday. So I'll steam my cauliflower, my broccoli, I'll do my lentils. So I have all of that prepped for the week. So I'm not having to invest all this time throughout the day when I need to make my meals. Also my dinner meals, although I do cook dinner every single night, it takes me less than 20 minutes. I use a lot of things to reduce the amount of time that it takes. So for example, I do a lot of things in a sous vide. So I don't use the plastic BPA bags, of course, but if I'm making like steaks or, a burger patty or something of that nature, I'll do it in the sous vide. It's in a medical grade silicone bag, and I keep it at 124 degrees Fahrenheit for about an hour with the grass-fed, grass-finished steaks, and then I just 45 seconds on each side or so on the cast iron, and dinner is done. It took 3 to 4 minutes to prep, and then an hour in the sous vide, and then 45 seconds on each side. I also will, chop up some veggies. You can even get them pre-chopped and toss them in the oven, and that takes about 5 minutes of prep again, and then, another few minutes to toss them in the oven. But really trying to optimize everything so it's as efficient as possible. We talked about nutrition, we talked about sleep, we talked about exercise, and to be totally honest with you, you, you could leave it there. If that's all that you have time for, great. It's way better than doing nothing. You're going to feel better. It's going to encourage more healthy habits, and that's absolutely fine. If you want to add on a few more things, I love my infrared sauna sessions. So we know that sauna has been shown to reduce the risk of dementia, all-cause mortality, cardiovascular events. It's great for skin health for women. It can be good for balancing your hormones. And as we go back to, we are slower detoxers and exposed to more environmental toxins. So sweating is so important. If you can't get in a sauna, make sure you're pushing yourself during your 30 minutes of exercise and sweating that way. But if you can get a sauna, I actually have a sauna that combines red light therapy and the infrared sauna into one. So instead of having to do 10 to 20 minutes, depending on if I'm doing front and back of red light therapy 3 times per week, I can now get the red light while I'm doing the sauna session, which is an absolute game changer because it's not adding any more time. So if you are going to do sauna, ideal sessions and commitment would be 4 to 7 times per week. When you do it, depends on what you want the outcome to be. So if you do it post-exercise, it can actually extend those exercise benefits. If you do it close to bed, but not too close to bed, so roughly 2 hours prior to bed, then it can help improve your sleep. So if you're struggling with hitting your sleep optimization metrics, then maybe do it before you go to bed, but you don't want to do it too close to bed because it does increase your heart rate. For the highest quality sleep, you want to get your resting heart rate as low as possible prior to sleep. So if you, again, are going to add on that one more thing, it would be a sauna with a red light. I have a code to save about 10%. So it's like somewhere about $500 or $600 off of a sauna. My favorite sauna company is definitely Heavenly Heat. My husband is now the CEO because we literally love it that much. When I did tons and tons of research a few years ago on the healthiest sauna, then I came across the brand Heavenly Heat, and it's amazing. But sauna is actually, a lot of sauna companies actually use these wood glues, plywoods, varnishes, and then they off-gas these VOCs into the chamber. There's also high levels of EMF and ELF, all of which have been mitigated in the Heavenly Heat saunas because the heaters are actually grounded and there's a Faraday cage built in. The last thing that I would say that is an add-on but will really be a game changer is just getting some morning sun. So when you wake up in the morning, have a huge glass of water with electrolytes and just step outside, get 10 to 30 minutes of sun in the eyes. It's going to wake up your body and brain and help to regulate your hormones. We know that women are experiencing higher than ever levels of issues with their hormones, and we even see women going into early menopause because of all these endocrine disrupting chemicals, things like BPAs and plastics, all these parabens in our makeup products. I'm going to do a full video on female care products and how to reduce the toxin exposure. But for now, this is my recommendation for women wanting to improve their longevity while having a busy life, children, etc.